So my niche is all about choosing value over fear, and in that regards, I began reading the book What We Value by neuroscientist Emily Falk to understand what is values-based decision making. And today I would like to share some insights I've learned from this book so far. Let me read this passage. In sum, there are three basic stages to what neuroscientists call value-based decision making. First, our brains determine what options they are choosing between, assign a subjective value to each one, and identify the option with the highest value in that moment. This part is particularly important because it highlights this motif that our decision making is like shining a flashlight. Our brains still access all the possible information it has access to all at the same time. Rather, it's more like that's all in the dark, and we assess based on the part that we see, which is the part that we shine the flashlight on. This means that from the start, our choices are shaped by what we consider possible options in the first place. So this part highlights the importance of cognitive fluidity. When we are cognitively fluid, we are broadening the beam of that flashlight. We can see more options to choose between. Next, our brains move forward with what is perceived as the highest value choice, which may or may not be the best choice in the context of our larger goals or longer-term well-being. This means that there isn't one single right answer, and what our brains perceive to be the highest value option right now might change if considered from other perspectives. For example, when thinking about career goals versus wanting to be a good friend. So this part is saying that there's no clear one right or one wrong choice. Rather, it's about what aspects of the choice are we emphasizing and paying attention to. Finally, when we've made the choice, our brains track how rewarding it turns out to be, so they can update how they make the calculation next time. This means that we often overweight the outcomes of our choices rather than improving our process. So this part is saying that our brain is subject to a bias, that we're internalizing the feedback of how rewarding the decision felt, which primitively can be thought of as how good it felt. But there are other aspects of the outcome and decision-making process that are also important, such as the long-term consequences and the quality of the information that we had going into the decision. These things are not things that our brain is inherently subject to consider, so we have to correct for these biases. All in all, the passage sums up the ways we can improve our value-based decision-making as this. This highlights at least three places where we can intervene. We can imagine more or different possibilities, consider the existing possibilities from different angles, or pay attention to different aspects of the outcome. So in other words, we can exercise cognitive fluidity to imagine more options to choose from and to consider the existing options from different angles. And also we can be aware of these biases that our brains have.